Well, in its 5 years of existence, this Anderson small business has outgrown their space twice and now finds themselves moving into a new space. And they've multiplied their staff by 9 while fulfilling a sizable need in our community. But there's much more than meets the ear when you hear the name Plain Song Music Services. This Anderson business has become highly sought after by many and spans a wide variety of therapy needs. We're visiting with founder and owner of Plainsong, Kirby Gilliam, and staff therapist Allie Greer. Kirby, if you would, please walk us through Plainsong's humble beginnings and the growth that your business has realized.
I started playing song in 2016 after I finished my music therapy degree from St. Mary of the Woods. I started as a one person shop, no, without a shop. I had bags and my guitar, and I would go to people's houses and I would do music therapy with them in their homes, and have grown it from there to there was a one person shop, like a one room place at the Union Building, and then we expanded into a 1,500 square foot area, and now we're in an almost 4,000 square foot area within 5 years.
Let's talk about the growth of your staff. It has multiplied exponentially from what it was. First of all, the need for more personnel after you realized you couldn't do this by yourself, and how growth has happened personnel wise since then.
Yeah, so when we first connected, it was just me, and I had a nice caseload. I had like 28 to 30 people that I was seeing every week. And what kept happening was people would call and say, "Hey, I want services. Hey, I want music therapy. Hey, can we get in with you?" And so I started a waiting list, and within like, I don't know, 6 months, it got to 50 people. And I thought, oh my gosh, that's enough for two full caseloads. So it was a matter of, am I going to expand and offer more music therapy in our community, or am I going to keep this just as myself and this is the end of it? And obviously, I decided that expanding was what our community needed. So I hired two therapists and gave them full time caseloads, and things went pretty well. And from there, we got an intern, and so she did a summer internship and she really liked what we had going, and she accepted a job offer that I gave her. And from there we grew even more. And then that's when Allie came in as an intern, and she did her internship with us. And just to clarify, when we do internships, we're working with accredited universities. So Allie is from Indiana Wesleyan University, and our first intern was with St. Mary of the Woods. And so that's when Plainsong kind of went into this educational role as well as a therapeutic role, because again, there was a need to educate students. Now, after Allie finished her internship, we had grown even more, and I offered her a job, and she said, "Yes, I will take that job." So she's been with us now. She just started her second year contract with us. And in that time, we've hired two more music therapists. So we have a team of five music therapists, including myself, and we have a piano instructor, we have an admin, and we have an operations person that helps us out, and we have another intern. So we've got a team of 9 currently from one.
Kirby, once again, let's review who benefits from music therapy services.
Everyone. And I know that's really broad, but everybody can benefit from music therapy. And I tell you that because we use music to address non-musical goals. Everybody is working on something in their life, whether that is you had a shoulder replacement and you're doing range of motion, and we're going to have you do maracas, and we're going to have you strum the guitar, and you're going to work on your range of motion that way, to somebody that is neurotypical, that is just struggling with some anxiety and depression. We use music to discuss our emotions, to discuss coping skills, to somebody that has cerebral palsy, and we're working on being able to move our legs up and down. So we use drumming to move our legs. And I could go on and on. I mean, we're getting ready to start a contract with a nursing home, assisted living in town. We work in multiple areas. That I've got a few patients that have Parkinson's. We've worked with Rocksteady. We've done presentations with them before. So, I mean, you name it, honestly, Brett, and we have a tool for you.
Because in many cases, you're working with other providers from the medical and psychological fields.
Absolutely. We do a lot of our referrals. Actually, all of our referrals are from medical and psychological fields. And I would consider music therapy a medical and a psychological field. We are considered an allied health career. We have national board examinations that we have to pass, and we have to keep 100 continuing education credits every 5 years. So we fall right in line with exactly what you're talking about.
Allie Greer, did you have this in mind when you were in high school and you thought, okay, what I want to do for a living is fill in the blank?
So that's a really good question. I absolutely did not. So I'm originally from Monticello, Indiana, and I had not heard a lot about music therapy until I was well into a different degree in college. And so I ended up changing my major in college after figuring out that music therapy was such a beneficial career and, tool for people.
You've seen the growth that Plainsong music has had. Can you talk about some of the changes that you've seen Plainsong music make in people's lives since you've been there?
Yeah, most definitely. So the growth has been amazing while I've been here, and to see the outreach to our community has been incredible. We get to work with lots of different people, and we get to hear so many stories and to have the ability to touch a person's life through music and to help aid them in having a better life or a life that they would like to see themselves in is just an incredible experience. And so through the growth at Plainsong, we've added more therapists, and so we've gotten to achieve that more and more throughout the years.
For somebody who's looking for solutions and they haven't found one yet, what would you suggest as far as reaching out to at least try music therapy? Kirby?
What I would suggest is if anybody is looking for music therapy services, or they're thinking that this might be an option for me, or they're thinking, how could this help me? I would suggest by calling us. And our number is 765-356-4934. We also have a Facebook page, Plainsong Music Services, as well as our website, which is www.plainsongmusicservices.com. And any of those avenues can get us directly to answer any questions. We are dabbling a little bit with private insurance. We typically do not accept private insurance. However, as music therapy is growing in the medical community, more private insurances are accepting us as reimbursable services. So I would suggest calling us, checking us out on our website, and then also if this is something that you just are interested in music therapy and maybe you don't think it's a solution for you, I still invite you to check out our Facebook, because we post things about what we're doing in our community all the time. So, for example, we just had an opening on June 4th and a lot of our clients performed. So, if that's something that you'd like to be involved with and see, check out our Facebook, because you'll see how we're using music with populations that, typically are not getting as much music intervention or involvement as a neurotypical person might have the ability to do. So check us out, and that's how I would suggest that. Allie, do you have anything that you want to add?
Yeah, I would also say, we work with the Medicaid waiver. So if you have a case manager or somebody like that, you can also talk to them about music therapy because we are the only music therapy in Madison County. So they would have a direct link to us as well.
Let's talk about your need to move into new quarters. This is what, your third move?
Yes, we needed to expand as our team was growing. And I'll tell you, when we moved into the space that you visited at the Union Building on the third floor, I thought it can't get any bigger than this, because this is so much space. Everybody has their own office. We have a sensory room, a lobby. How in the world would we ever need more space? And in less than 2 years, we needed more space. We had our lobby was full to the brim almost every single day. We needed more therapists. I ran out of therapy rooms, and it was a great relationship. Long story short, Steve Thompson with FC Tucker was selling the home that they were using for their business, and I had tried to, check that out and see if that was a possibility. And he said, while that's a possibility, I'm getting this building right down the road, and it may be a better venue for you guys. And so we came over here to look, and it needed a lot of elbow grease, but we were able to put in the time and make it something really special to us. And Steve's done the same thing in his space downstairs. He's totally redone everything. I mean, I was also really sold to this building because Steve's really bringing excitement to downtown Anderson, and he wanted to bring a building back to life. And I'm all about community involvement. So when he offered the space, I thought we can't beat this. And so we've got about half of the second floor, and it works out really, really well for us. And there's room to grow for a couple years.
And for reference, we're talking about what a lot of longtime Andersonians would recognize as the old May Mahoney Heineman building on Jackson Street.
Yes, 100 West 11th is the official address, but it's right on the corner of Jackson and 11th, downtown Anderson.
So, in summary, what does this new space do for you now, both amenity and space-wise, that you weren't afforded at previous locations?
Yeah, so a couple of the things that come up immediately are we have much better accessibility. We have a parking lot right in our building area as opposed to having to park on the street. The building is only shared by 4 tenants as opposed to where we were before had like 50 tenants, which isn't a problem, but it just means that we're more compact, I guess, and there's less confusion trying to find us. So we're easily accessible, easy to find. As far as our space is concerned for our patients, we have room to grow, so we are able to see more people here. We've got more common space, so we're able to do groups here, whereas before we could only really support one-on-one therapy sessions. So now we have room to do groups. Eventually, we'll have room to do like community education classes and talk about how music can help just within our community. I think one of the biggest reasons that we moved over here is because we wanted to feel supported by our community, and Steve has really done a great job of making us feel like, hey, you're doing something good for our community, and we want to be a part of that. So it's a really great feeling over here. Everybody works together really well.
Yeah, I mean, this space just allows for a lot more movement, a lot more growth, I think.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And Kirby, for you, it must be gratifying to be able to provide such a service in your hometown.
Yes, it is. And I have to remind myself sometimes because, we get into the monotony of the everyday work and the documentation. And as the admin, going out and doing the sales pitches or the referral sources and all that kind of stuff, sometimes I forget what we're doing. And then I sit back and do things like this, Brett, talking to you. And it's like, you know what? We have done some really great things for our community, and we can continue to do good things for our community. So when I sit back and reflect on it, it's sometimes I'm like, is this real? Is this happening? But I do think we are making a difference for the people that live in our city. We have been starting to get emails about people that want to volunteer with us, and that's wonderful. And feel free to reach out and volunteer, because we do like the community concerts and things like that, which would be great to have volunteers. And if you are a student, we also provide job shadowing and we do observations. So if this is something that as a high schooler or maybe college students, you're thinking about getting into music therapy, there are only 12 music therapy companies like Plainsong in the state of Indiana. So we are fortunate to have this in our community and our county. And if you're a student that's interested, get with us, because it can be hard to find places to do that.
Kirby Gilliam and Allie Greer, thanks for your visit today, and congratulations on your move and expansion. Small businesses like Plainsong Music are vital to our community. Support them and the other small businesses in your community, because your community's future depends on it. That's the latest buzz of Madison County.